Hello, Gabriel.
Hello, Martina.
I want to talk to you with you today about plants, because I make the experience here in Pelvorm that it's interesting for me to try to eat plants, and that the molecules of the plant connect with the molecules of my physical body. And I started with chamomile and wild herbs that I find in the meadows. And yeah, I would like to talk with you about plants and what plants are. What are plants for you? What would you say?
Plants are somehow living thing. Wow, this is a hard question. So there's so much. Somehow they have their own energy. Like they're, especially for trees, they have, I think, or for me, from my perception, they're like energy giving trees or energy taking trees. And they somehow, plants are living organisms that grow.
Mm-hmm. And how can you come in contact with a tree if we stay with the trees?
I touch them. It has been a long time since I touched a tree, like seriously. Last time I think was in April when I was in Waldburg, when I was strolling through the woods. And there was one tree that was very, very old, and out of, like, I didn't know why. It was so weird for my survival strategy to do it. I hugged the tree. I haven't done it, like, I always made somehow fun of it when other people told me about it, and then I did it for myself and was very sincere about it. It was a unusual, like, thing to connect to the tree and to see how the energy and the calmness of the tree, of the place was there, because the tree was, I don't know, it's maybe 80 years old or so from the width.
Mm-hmm.
Or even older, and it was so calm, like it was just like the seasons passing by and the tree getting older, and there wasn't so much like this fear of life or of survival of Earth was not there at all.
But why did you do that? Why did you hug the tree? What was your impulse?
I had the impulse to do it as an experiment because I've never really done it before.
Mm-hmm.
So I did.
And did you have an impression that the tree gets in contact with you, or that there is an answer, or what did you think and feel while you were hugging the tree?
There was this thought of, am I really doing this right now? Like the self-questioning, like, is this really I who's hugging a tree now? Like, who am I when I'm a person who's hugging a tree? And then the other, like, most of my energetic body was focused on the tree, to be in connection and what the tree did. Yeah, and I was feeling the calmness of the tree. Yeah, and the tree, like, this was more energetic than feeling wise.
Mm.
Yeah,
I did that when I was in the forest hugging a tree. It was also in Waldburg, and I noticed that every tree has a special smell. Did you smell on the tree?
no.
You can try that when you do it the next time. I think in our culture, trees are living beings. This is accepted. But how is it for you with a stone, for example?
It depends on the size of the stone. Like I was in Saxony, and I was walking through an old I don't even know the German word for it, where the river like went like a few thousand years through this.
Valley? A valley?
It wasn't really a valley. It was more of a, it was very lush, and like there were very, very, very old stones. And somehow these very, very, very old stones had some sort of energy in it, because they were also like, they had the sign on it. Like this stone is like 300 million years old somehow.
Wow.
And it seemed still be connected to the earth. And it's a different, like this is different than a stone that I find like in the meadow. Because the stone in the meadow is probably put there, is not connected to anything anymore. And this is for me dead. And this other stone is also somehow dead, and at the same time, energetically, I can connect to something, I think, through it. I'm not really sure if it's the stone, or if it's the stone, or if it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah, or if it's something that like the connection to the earth through the stone, because the stone is connected to more stone, to the middle of the earth somehow. And when there's a connection, I think there's an access possible, also from my experience.
That's interesting what you said, because the difference between a stone that cannot be moved by you because you have to go there because it is so big that you cannot move it, and a stone that you can pick up and take with you in your pocket.
I mean, when there is a stone that I can pick up and put in my pocket next to this big one, it's not about the size, I think. Like even if I would, I think there are crazy big stone sculptures of people like really working with big stones, and they put it as art somewhere, and it's also dead. I wouldn't say it's about the size. I wouldn't also neither say it's about the place if I have to go there. Because if I would have a very big stone in my backyard, it would be present all the time.
How do you, I want to hear more about how do you connect with plants and with the nature that surrounds you and in the place where you are right now in Mengen. What are you doing?
Well, I have the luxury of not living in a city anymore. Like we live with, I think there are 4 houses in this little road in the middle of nowhere. Like the next town is a few kilometers away. And so whenever I go outside, it doesn't matter which door I use. Whenever I go outside, I'm in the green. I'm in the lush green.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of humidity here and a lot of rain. Apparently it's only this summer. Apparently the other summers it had been also very dry. And I only know that it's very lush and very green, and so this is, whenever I'm outside, I'm in nature. And I like, this is, I think, also from my childhood, I like working in the garden and working with plants. And at the moment I dried some nettle roots that apparently have some like, they give people power. At least that's the legend from, I don't know, books from 100 years ago. And I'm at the moment I'm eating dried nettle root a little bit every day.
Aren't they bitter? Very bitter?
No, not at all.
No? Okay.
No. They're very dry, and you cannot chew them. I just swallow them down. And even the blender has problems with cutting them because it's just too hard. Yeah.
And why is it an experiment that you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started on Friday, and I think I will do it for a month at least. 2 times a day whenever I eat. I do like 1/4 of a teaspoon or something, like a little bit, and to see if it's apparently also anti-inflammatory. At least that's what I read online, and I want to try how my body reacts to it.
It's also good for the hair. You could make like a tea from the leaves and wash your hair with it. It's very good for the skin, for the head skin. Yeah, you could try.
Yeah, I've heard legends of people living here who did that for a while, and their hair went crazy, like growing really fast and growing really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabriel. That's it for today. See you
Cool.
next week, and thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.